Welcome. You've splash landed into this Prosecco-laden podcast, straight into the woo-woo pool with the crew of Ohm-g. We're just a simple group of tragically imperfect and highly empathic BFFs, exploring a wide range of atypical topics with humor, grace, and curiosity. This is Ohm-g. Welcome, friends. Join us in the circle today because we're playing cards. Are you actually curious? We are. Actually Curious is a deck created as a conversation starter. We're doing a demo, so judge for yourself. You're here with the crew of
Ohm-g, the podcast. Welcome back, y'all.
Yeah, so this is Brenda. We're just doing a little introduction so everybody remembers who we are.
This is Chandra.
Hey, y'all, it's Aaron.
Hey, it's Lynn.
Chameleonaire here.
So this game, and by the way, we are not being paid for talking about this game, but...
Not a sponsorship.
No,
Shameless
darn it.
Yet.
Right. So I played this game at the beach with my kids and my son-in-law. That's weird.
Is that what they call them nowadays?
I think so. And it was really eye-opening. And like, I have 2 adult children and my teenage daughter, and the answers that they gave were really surprising. And it really made me feel close to them. So I thought this would be such a fun game for us to play together as a group because, like, we love each other and it would help us to connect and get to know each other better. So I highly recommend this game for anybody who's wanting to deepen their relationships in their life, whether it's friendships or even romantic relationships, because you can learn a lot about other people. So
Right. But just thumbing through the cards, I'm like, this is going to hit on topics that we don't normally
talk about
hit on as a group.
Because deep into the layers of the onion.
Right. Because, you know, we're going to be woo when we're together. So.
So who wants to kick us off with a question?
So does it matter which color we pull?
No.
Just any? Okay.
I will.
Okay.
Choose one. Time travel or eternal youth, and why?
Ooh.
I choose eternal youth because getting old sucks thus far. Anyone else?
Do you want to, should we do it this way so that we...
Sure.
Okay, perfect. Sorry to put you on the spot, Lynn, but...
Oh, was it my turn?
No, we all answered that question, right?
Oh, we all answered it. Oh, I would definitely choose eternal youth. Why? Because I got wrinkles.
Yep. Yep. I feel you.
I would choose time travel. And part of it is because I just read a book that had time travel in it. It was really, really interesting. And also it would just be cool to see my past lives or just live in different parts of, I don't know, time travel for sure.
I'm time travel too, because I could always go back to a time when I didn't have wrinkles.
Oh.
But see, the thing is, I'm going to know what I know now.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
So time travel. Yeah.
Yeah, I think definitely time travel for me too, because I think it would be super fun to go and pop in on different events that have happened in the world and to be there to experience it. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah.
And also I like to travel, so
yeah,
I would like to go to all kinds of different countries and see how people lived. And
you know what holds me back from the time travel thing? Let me Virgo out just a minute here.
Girl, go for it. Virgo for it.
Are you guys assuming that you will be able to control when and where you land and what the conditions are? Because as a woman, that sounds a little scary to me.
As a gay, I agree.
There you go.
I assumed I would be able to control it.
Yeah. Same.
Okay.
So if not,
just curious.
I still probably choose time travel.
I don't know. Have you watched The Outlander?
No, I hear it's good, but I haven't watched
Well, I could land there. I'd do that.
it. Out there.
Okay. Me.
But if you live a long, long time, if you choose eternal youth, you continually learn. And so by the time you're, 595, you know what's going on.
My sister vampire over here.
We say with crossed fingers, we hope by then we know what's going on.
I want that on a t-shirt. If you live to be, 595, you know what's going on. I love that. Lynn, do you want to pull a card next?
Oh, okay. I'm just going to pick this one up. When do you feel most secure? For me, it's when I'm in control.
Shout out trauma. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think similar. I think when I'm in control or have the fault, I mean, we're in control of nothing, but like when I have the false sense that I'm in control.
Yeah.
And giving words of verbal affirmation, I feel like most at ease and,
This is going to sound so conceited. I feel the same way. Like, I feel most secure when I'm in control. But if it's in a group setting, like, I feel most secure if I'm the leader.
I feel secure when you're leading.
Y'all make out later.
Yeah. But yeah, it's, I would say when like
you're in control.
I'm in control. I'm in the leadership position.
Makes sense. What about you, Brenda?
I hate the responsibility, but
sure.
I don't want to be doing what somebody else says either.
Yeah, that makes sense. I was just trying to think, when do I feel the most secure? I think probably like everybody else, that being in control and kind of feeling like you know what's going to happen next is a feeling of security. I don't know.
I find it curious that nobody said when I'm making a lot of money.
I haven't answered yet.
Oh.
My answer was going to be when there's money in the bank and I can take a deep breath and deal with whatever comes my way.
Yeah.
I feel that, Camille.
Yeah.
I think that I tie money and control like almost with each other. So I didn't even, like when I said control, I pictured like having that safety net.
Yeah. Using it synonymously.
And it occurred to me because like when I think leadership, I think job, I think boss, I think
money.
Money. So
that safety.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. Ew.
All right. So that was your answer. That was the moolah la. Okay. Okay, so I'm picking the pretty sand yellow color, and I just picked mine intuitively. I have not even like looked over them yet. So this one says, name one thing that makes you nervous or uncomfortable and explain why.
Oh, boy.
So for me, like a fear that I still have in this lifetime is elevators and like tight spaces. And so that makes me really uncomfortable. And I think part of that is that I'm not in control. At the root of it is that I'm not in control and I'm literally in a fucking box, 6, 7 floors up. So I always take the stairs. But I also think it's a past life thing because in like a past life regression kind of thing, once somebody said, or no, it wasn't past life. It was like a spirit circle. I think someone had said that like they got coal miner, like that I was like, down in the tight little spot and that whatever. So I think it's like related to past life stuff, but elevators make me feel super uncomfortable, whether I'm in there alone or with other people.
Okay. Nervous makes you nervous and super uncomfortable. That was the question. Other than having to feel emotions.
Shout out.
Ding, ding, ding.
Being in a crowd of people tightly packed and everybody's talking, so there's no air flowing. There's all these people like right up against you. There's 15 conversations that you can hear and everything else is just mumbling. So you can't really, and it's an ADHD person, but
my whole body just like shut down as you just started talking like that. Yeah.
So
horrible.
I've been in more than one instance where it was all I could do not to just start throwing elbows and get out. So I would say large crowds.
So I think what makes me the most nervous and anxious is if I'm in front of people and they are looking at me to know what the hell I'm talking about and I'm unprepared, that scares the crap out of me.
Oh, you are my sister.
Yeah.
What you, Chameleon?
Yeah.
For me, it would be having to math on command.
Ew.
Especially on like a work conference call.
Sure.
Yeah. Dyscalculia. Can't go there. Next.
Yeah, mine's the same as Brenda's, like being put on the spot and having to like answer a question and fearing that you're going to sound like a complete dumbass.
Yeah.
And everybody's not going to know you're making it up as you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my thing.
Okay. Next question. What are you willing to fight for? My answer is going to be my husband and you guys. Because those are my core relationships. So those are the things I would do whatever I had to do to keep in a good state.
Yeah.
So as soon as you asked that question, I heard Meatloaf. I would do anything for love.
I thought you meant the food. It's like, friend that's fighting for a meatloaf slice? Girl,
I won't do that.
Exactly. So I think, obviously, my family and the people that I care about, I will fight you.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I think my independence.
Mm-hmm.
And feeling like I have autonomy over choosing what I want.
I'm going to have to default to kind of the same thing. People I care about, whether they're friends or family.
Yeah. My kid for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Y'all don't mess with him.
Yeah.
And my friends.
Mm-hmm.
I would take somebody down to the map for y'all.
Yeah.
No,
Just saying.
I would buy a ticket to that.
It would be a good show.
It would be a good show.
I'd be an announcer. And in this corner, we have Lin-Manuel Miranda. And on this corner, we have Fuck Around and Find Out.
But also, like, my independence and freedom, like, I'll fight for that too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
For me, it's similar. It's my family. And I feel like y'all are my family, like chosen family. Like my husband and dogs, obviously. And like the few close friends I have. And then also, I feel like this has developed within the past year, thankfully, but alone time. Like I used to really fear being alone, and it would make me anxious, and I didn't like it. And now that I've been working through my shit, I'm like, I have to be alone in order to like function out in the world. And so I'll fight for that time.
I agree. I need that alone time as well, or I get cranky.
Heck yeah, girl.
All right, next question. Are we ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see. We're going to choose this card. Oh, what's the most important thing that was omitted from your education growing up? Well, where should I start?
Miss makes cinnamon brooms to pay tuition.
Right.
I asked my dad about that. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, he didn't go to school where I went.
Oh.
Yeah.
He had to do like janitor work or something, you said, to pay his tuition?
He probably did.
Anyways, sorry, go ahead.
Anyway, I didn't learn about a lot of things when it came to science because I went to some different schools. So we didn't talk about evolution or hardly about like science in general. So whenever I had to take science in college, it was all foreign to me. Like I was not familiar with any of the terms or the concepts or anything. So I wish that I had gotten a more well-rounded education.
I can't believe that math is the answer to two of these questions for me.
What an unexpected turn of events.
The math ain't math.
It's very true. Basically, I was allowed to graduate high school having taken only freshman year math because I sucked, kind of like an athlete whose teachers push him along, and I was no athlete, I assure you. But yeah, they lost me somewhere, and I never regained my head above water there.
So for me, growing up in my backwoods family, education was not a thing. I mean, we all went to high school, whatever, but, they just pushed you through there. But I actually wish that I'd done a whole lot more with every subject.
Sure.
Yeah. It just wasn't a thing back then.
He's a girl. You don't need that.
No.
Exactly. You can just work in the cotton mill.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Get yourself a husband.
Exactly.
Somebody to take care of you.
Yep.
So for me, being homeschooled until 9th grade and having to beg to go to public school then, I would say science as well, but also like history and social studies. So I did not have either of those classes until 9th grade. Mm-hmm. So like sitting in earth science and talking about photosynthesis, I was like, what in tarnation? And then finding out about all these like wars and civilizations. And so I think like, just knowing about our world and planet and how like things led up to where we are now would have more well-rounded education, I guess you could say.
Yeah. But look at you. You got your master's degree.
Does anybody want to see it? That's always a joke that I always say. Because it's like, does anybody want to see my master's degree? But yeah, thank you. That's true.
For me, I wish that in every subject there had been a section where they told you about careers that this subject could lead to, because you get to college and it's like, well, what's your major? What do you want to be? What can I be?
Here's $30,000 for this year's tuition. Figure it out, like
Exactly.
It's always fun.
I mean, I think kids today have more access to that because, TikTok and YouTube, and they can, more things come into their awareness.
For sure.
But when we were going to school, I knew you could work in the cotton mill. You could, you could be on a sewing machine. I knew you could be in an office, but what do you do in the office? I mean, it's just I was at the college level, and it was like I had no idea what I wanted to do. So I picked a major at the stuff I was good at because then college wouldn't be so hard. And I've never used it at all, ever. And it's like now I see other job opportunities, other careers, and I'm like, oh, I wish I'd gone down that road. That sounds really interesting. I would have loved what I was doing if I had done that. But I didn't even know that was an option when I had to, quote unquote, pick.
Right.
Yeah.
Who knows themselves at age 18 anyway? I mean,
Nobody.
God.
So true.
I don't know that any of us still know what we want to be when we grow up. Right?
No, not really. We're still figuring it out.
Yeah, that's the beauty of
If
it.
you lived at 595, though,
You might know something.
just
You
not
could have
math.
You can have a bunch of different careers.
sure
Right.
could.
Always a mathlete, never an athlete. So who is it? Camille's card next? We need to take
Camille's, let's take a quick break.
Okay.
And when we come back, we'll come back in with Camille on the next question.
Perfect.
Okay, here's a good one. What is something you pretend to know about and why? For me, I'm going to say parenthood and leave it at that.
Hmm.
Oh my goodness, that's a.
She's just like, Lynn?
Something that I pretend to know about and know nothing about.
Something you pretend to know about and why?
Oh, and why? Something I pretend to know about myself.
Amen.
That's a valid answer.
I mean,
Wow.
sometimes that's a hard question.
That's really tough. I
Yeah.
think part of me wants to say myself, but another part of me feels like when you said parenting, I was like, because I literally have a pre-programmed response for like on the defense for if and when I ever have to have this parent conference where they like take issue with me. And this is what I'm going to say should it ever arise. I am not a parent. You are not a teacher. So we could go back and forth all day about how I could do my job better and how you could do your job better. But we've got to find a compromise for your kid.
Bloody brilliant.
That is brilliant.
Thank you. But I do, I think, these kids are acting crazy. Like, if I was their parent, and it's like, that's the last thing I want, So, I don't know, no. So, parenting and myself.
One thing I have to act like I know about and why. Oh my gosh. You guys know I have imposter syndrome up to the throat. So everything, I mean, I truly feel that way about everything.
It's a way of getting through life if you think about it.
Yeah. Especially when it comes to business. I have all these great ideas and I want to start a business and I'll get to something that I don't know.
Right.
And it just shuts me down. And it's the imposter syndrome because as long as I'm in control and I know, I can keep going. But as soon as I don't know,
That's a wrap.
Yeah. So I'll say business for just to give an answer.
Ask the question again. She said, one moment, please. She's going to find the card.
I put the card on the bottom. 1 second. Okay. What is something you pretend to know about and why?
Pretend to know about. I feel like I pretend to know about a lot of things. I think sometimes I pretend to know what I'm doing, like with work and that kind of thing. And it's just so I don't look stupid because I don't want to feel stupid.
Sure.
So you kind of that fake it till you make it or bullshit your way through it. And I usually can figure things out. So I rely on that a lot.
Buying some time.
I
I think that resonates with a lot of people.
For sure.
Okay. Actually picked a simple question to ask after that hard one.
Thank goodness.
So, what foods remind you of home? And I'm hungry, so maybe this is why I picked this.
I'm hungry too.
Sweet potatoes, especially with the holidays coming up. I love sweet potato pie. Hint, hint.
Pickled beets.
Ew.
Girl, okay, they're a great source of iron. And no, I really do love pickled beets. And we used to have them a lot, at holidays and stuff at my Nana's house, my mom's mom. And it makes me think of Easter and Sunday after church. I just love a pickled beet. And what was the other thing I was going to say? It was something else food related. Oh, chicken and dumplings.
Oh, yeah.
Like just comfort. Just it makes me think of that old lady video where they like it's snowing and they ask her what her and her friend are going to do. And she's like, we're going to make soups and breads and just be all fat and sassy. So.
I love pickled beets too.
Okay.
One thing that makes me think of home is spaghetti.
Mm-hmm.
We lived with my grandparents, and so my grandmother always cooked. Well, she attempted to, and we attempted to eat it. But
talk about make it till you make it.
But spaghetti was the one thing that my mom cooked, and it was always delicious. And it was like always in this one special bowl, and like it was almost like a ritual around it because it was different than normal. So I would say spaghetti.
Oh. So y'all know I grew up vegan. So my mom used to make cashew gravy, or she still makes it. And that reminds me of home is my mama's cashew gravy with her homemade bread. And also my grandmother used to always make potato salad. Oh. And her potato salad was always my favorite, even though it wasn't that great. And then she would make lima beans. And that reminds me of home. Yeah. Comfort food. I don't know who says lima beans remind you of home. I mean, ew.
When you said that, I got the texture. You know, it's like super grand. I like a lima bean. I like a lima. But I felt that like great grainy texture, and I literally pictured what used to be Grandma Frances, my great grandma, your grandma, her kitchen, and that's all there. And there's the cashew gravy, which is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
And then the fake vegan cheese.
Oh, yeah.
Like tofu. And I love that shit. Because I really feel like if circumstances were different, I could be vegetarian and like not have an issue with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they know how to kind of throw down a little bit with a lima bean and some fake cheese, you know?
I'm going to have to say, oddly enough, tomatoes, because my grandfather in Memphis, Pop, had his own tomato garden that he tended like no one's business. And they were huge and red, deep red, and so flavorful. And he had that garden so he could have a really good Bloody Mary, just full disclosure.
Oh, funny.
God, I love that.
And so really good tomato juice and really good tomatoes. You can't really find them anymore. And that's
not unless you grow them in your own garden.
Right.
I do love a homegrown tomato.
And soil matters too. But yeah, that.
I thought she was going to say banana salad.
I did too. I was waiting.
That too.
That vinegar caramel. So my question is, buckle up, buttercups. When was the last time you cried and what was it about? So mine was last Sunday during the Reiki work and after our attunements, and the other student in the class that Lynn was teaching with me and another person. She was working on my crown chakra and literally described a photograph of me as a child. This was the first time that I'd met her. Like I knew exactly what she was talking about. And then she goes down to my throat chakra and immediately starts crying and talking about like all of the trauma of my teenage years and how difficult things were. And I was like, it was just like, it was a lot. It was a huge clearing. So that was the last time I cried and why.
I feel so bad saying this. But the last time I cried, I was watching a YouTube video or something on Instagram or Facebook or somewhere. And it was about some animal that had been very mistreated. And it had like this huge tumor on the side of its head. And somebody rescued it. And, you know, they went through all the stuff with the vet and everything. And they were giving it like the best life possible for as long as it was, you know. And I was just like, woo-hoo, you know.
Stop watching the dodo.
I know.
They get you every time.
They get me every time. So yeah, it was a little video about some.
Yeah,
that's sweet.
Some animal that was abused.
Those make me cry too.
Yeah.
So I don't cry that much, y'all. I think the last time I cried was when my boyfriend, my now fiance, proposed to me. And it was happy tears.
Yeah.
Aww. Yeah, so that's the last time I cried, I think.
So sweet.
Yeah.
Those are the best kind.
Yeah.
The last time I cried was I was re-listening to a hypnosis session the quantum healing hypnosis that I did. And we need to have an episode about that in the future.
Yes.
But yeah, just reliving the past life. And a lot of it was happy tears. So, but yeah, that was it.
Oh, I'm not much of a crier either, but I had an ugly cry this morning.
Oh,
I know. I was watching the news, y'all.
oh,
And I don't do that much, but it was a really touching story about this little boy that's in a wheelchair because he has like cerebral palsy, but he loves football.
Oh.
And so all the football players have kind of taken him under their wing. And I know, you should see Chandra's face.
I'm getting teary-eyed right now.
So he's a young child. And so these great big boys grabbed his wheelchair and he loves to watch them like run through the banner. And they ran him through that banner. And y'all, I stood there at that TV and I ugly cried. And I was like, oh my God. And then I was like, I got to turn the TV off. But how sweet.
Because he's going to remember that forever.
Forever.
oh.
That's the anti-trauma.
Yeah.
Happy memory.
It was really sweet.
I saw a little excerpt recently. It was also a good crier where an entire high school voted a girl who had Down syndrome as the homecoming queen.
I saw it.
And took her by surprise and her dad by surprise. And I'm just like, just when you think there's something wrong with all these kids in this younger generation, they go and do this. Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Gives you hope.
Oh.
Yeah, it makes me cynical, but that's a topic for another
Again, future episode.
Okay. Describe a person you have difficulty connecting with. And why do you think that is?
Just one. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I'm like Camille. I'm going to give a similar answer to a previous question. Someone that I would have difficulty connecting with would be someone who is obviously pretending to fake it till they make it. And they're just regurgitating things that they've heard and not really adding anything, like the person that will overtake the conversation and never say anything. I can't connect with that kind of person. And I know it's because I fear that that's what I sound like, because we were talking about just faking it till you make it. You're talking about something that you don't know about. And I'm like, is that what I sound like? Please, God, tell me that's not what I sound like. People don't think that about me.
And we don't.
Thank you.
Well, this is hard because, if somebody listens to this, I'm not going to call anybody out by name.
We're going to make up to Bartholomew.
Yeah. I think in general, I have a pretty easy time connecting with people or finding some point of connection. But I think as far as like a type of people would probably be people who are fake and materialistic and only concerned about themselves, that we got nothing in common, honey. So I have a hard time connecting with that kind of person.
Yeah, me too.
I'll keep it short and sweet, and I'm not afraid that he'll listen, but my dad. I strive to understand pretty much in all situations, even if I don't agree. But that's a tough nut to crack.
Yeah.
Wow, everybody's looking at me now. I'm scared.
I still got to go too, don't worry.
So I think I have the hardest time connecting to people who act like they're better than me.
Amen.
Yeah.
Pretentious.
And I'll just leave it at that instead of calling out somebody's name.
Sure.
Don't look at me. She's looking at me. I'm like, it's not me.
Brenda's petting chinchilla. Camille's dog like, whoa, what?
It was definitely not Brenda.
Yeah, I mean, I think like just types and personalities very similar to what has already kind of been spoken. And yeah, I mean, it's possible this person listened, but my mom for a lot of different reasons. And yeah, I think speaking back to types of people, like people who it's objectively from the outside, I can see that spirit in the universe is like, this is your lesson. This is your lesson. This is your lesson. And patterns keep repeating in their life and they're not reflecting or doing anything about it. And so they're staying at the same vibrational frequency. And it's not an ego thing, but it's like I see that in myself and have worked through that and moved past it and I'm working on my next challenge because there's always something next.
Yeah.
And it just seems lazy or like a cop out that they don't. And so it's like, I don't even want that to gravitate towards me because I'm only going towards what's higher and better.
Yeah. I feel that too, Aaron.
Yeah. That's when you're taking the responsibility,
Yeah.
and it sucks.
Yeah.
And then you see somebody, and sometimes it appears that they're kind of like, even though they have struggles, it's almost like they're floating through life because they're not doing any of the deep work,
Like a grown-up child.
Yeah. And it does make me angry.
Yeah, me too.
So
I see you, soul sister.
Yeah.
Bless their hearts.
Yeah, bless their hearts.
Okay. So I have a fun question. Yay! Blank always makes me laugh because blank. So what always makes you laugh and why? Oh, I should go, right?
Yeah.
So Brenda, what is it?
Buys me some time. Yes.
So I know this is really elementary, but like fart jokes and people farting or bathroom humor, it always makes me laugh. And I don't know why. It's because I guess I'm a 12-year-old boy inside.
She stole my answer. I was going to say salty, dark humor because that's who I am and that's how I roll.
And that's why we love you.
Thank you. Yep.
Oh, mine would be the same. Anything that's kind of irreverent.
Yep.
Yeah, Camilla and I were twin on that one. Yeah. And because it's funny.
It is funny.
It is funny. Y'all.
Yeah.
Oh,
That too.
That sounds cliche and silly and whatever, and we'll get into a more emotional episode, probably our next episode. But yeah, I feel like every time that I'm around y'all, even text messages, like just getting a text from y'all, whatever, like I'm grinning, or laughing or smiling, and we just it feels like I'm at home when I'm with y'all. And so it just feels so comfortable, and y'all are fucking hilarious also, you're just funny.
I agree.
It's funny. I'm going to get sentimental. My husband always makes me laugh, and it's because he knows me.
Yeah.
He knows how to take a topic and word something so that he knows that I will find it funny.
It's curated just for Gina.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Sweet.
And he's a funny guy. I mean, when he's in a group, he's one of those that kind of just, he'll interject, but for the most part, he stands back and lets everybody else have their time. Only interject when he has something to add.
Yeah.
Right. But at home, never. At home, he kind of leads the conversations because, I'm a Gemini. I don't do that. And so he always tries to interject something that he knows is going to make me laugh.
So sweet. Because Christian's the exact same way as a Gemini, but the people that we work with and stuff will be about me because I've masked for so long as I have to be the funny person. I need to be needed and all that stuff doesn't fit anymore. So I'm trying to shift past that. But at work or in social context, people are like, Christian, Aaron just must have you cracking up at home. You just got to be just splitting your sides all the time. He is so funny. Christian's like,
not really.
No, I mean, of course he's funny, but it's no, I kind of don't shut the fuck up at home. It's like
I'm no longer the audience. You are.
Yeah. He's one of the funniest people I know.
Oh. Well, this was a fun episode.
Yeah,
you guys.
I loved this. We'll have to do this again.
Yeah, because there's more cards. And I recommend this game for getting to know each other. And if you're not putting this out on a podcast, you could get more real with your answers too, because I was trying to be cognizant of people who might be listening.
Same.
Yep. So we love you guys and thank you for joining us. And
for taking the time to listen and get to know us a little bit better because we want to spread the community. So appreciate that.
And again, this game was called Actually Curious. If you're actually curious about purchasing it for yourself, we highly recommend.
It's the original edition. I think there's different editions for different situations.
Lovely.
So peace out, y'all.
Bye.
Till next time.
Thank you for joining us today. Please follow and subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Stitcher, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, and leave a review. It's so easy to do and such a huge help for us. We appreciate your interactions so much. Want to join us at our table? Make sure to check out our YouTube channel and join our Facebook community. If you've enjoyed this content and wish to support us, take a look at our Patreon page. All information and links will be in our podcast description. Catch you next time.
This podcast is part of the Sound Advice FM network. Sound Advice FM. Women's voices amplified.